All right, beautiful people. I trust that you all are doing very well. Let's go on and get things started here. Hey, Wayne and Ron and Edmund and John, Robert, Jim, Heather, Lyndon, Michael, good to see you. Kwame, um, is it Piloto? I hope I said that correctly. Bukasa, G. Lee, Influencer Trudy. Hey, Micah. Hey, Albert, good to see you. Let's go on and bring on. So tonight, hey, Abraham, tonight we're talking about BDM travel. You're going to find out how you can travel the world. Very, I'm not going to say, well, yeah, inexpensively. Yeah. You'll be able to travel the world inexpensively, as well as being able to take advantage of local deals, depending on what part of the world you are in. As a matter of fact, I'm even going to show you over the weekend. My oldest son came down. He wanted to introduce me to his lady friend. We had spoken a few times on the phone with her, but got a chance to meet her for the first time. And so, we got some things here locally, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how much money we were able to save because of BDM travel. I stayed right in my local area. I didn't go out and travel, but I still saved money. With that being said, let me introduce you to the lead developer of BDM Travel, the lead developer of the mother of BDM Travel, our $1 billion mission, John Austin. John, it's yours, my friend.
Well, thank you, Professor, and good evening, everyone. Today, I want to share something that hit me like a revelation, a simple shift in words that can change everything. You've probably heard people say, and perhaps you've even said it yourself, I would if I could. It sounds reasonable, right? It suggests a desire to do something, but circumstances won't let you. But yesterday, these words just popped into my mind as if they were spoken to me. I could if I would. I could if I would. It's a simple phrase, but it turns the whole game around. Instead of being powerless, it tells us that we already have the ability, we just need the willingness. Today, I want to show you how I believe this truth connects with the four keys of faith and how it can transform your life. Key number one, gratitude, the power of acknowledging what you already have. We often focus on what we lack, but what if I told you that everything you need to succeed is already within your reach? When you say, if I would if I could, you're focusing on what you don't have. But when you say, I could if I would, you're recognizing that you do have the ability, you just need to step into it. Gratitude unlocks this shift in your mindset. When you appreciate what's already in your hands, you realize that you have enough to start. Whether it's resources, knowledge, or connections, gratitude moves the excuses and invites possibilities. Key number two, write the vision and make it plain. Think about it. If you don't define what you want, how will you ever achieve it? The phrase, I could if I would, challenges us to ask, what do I really want? And am I willing to go after it? At our, at our BDM community, we teach you to write your vision clearly. Want financial freedom? Write it down. Want to travel the world? Write it down. Want to enjoy radiant, energetic health? Write it down. The moment you put pen to paper, you shift from wishing to ready to take action. Key number three, surround yourself with a feeling of already having it. One of the biggest reasons people say, I would if I could, is because they can't see themselves succeeding. But success isn't something that happens first, it's something you embody first. If you act as if you already received what you desire, your mindset changes. You make different choices. You move with confidence. Key number four, positive affirmations. Speak it until you see it. Words shape reality. If you constantly say, I would if I could, you reinforce the idea that you're stuck. But the moment you shift to, I could if I would, you're taking back control. You're saying, I have the power to choose, I have the power to act. Say it with me. I could if I would, and I will. Again, I could if I would, and I will. I could if I would, and I will. This is the kind of mindset that leads us to action. It is the kind of faith that moves mountains. It is a kind of belief that turns dreams into reality. Right now, you have an opportunity to change your financial future. The BDM Travel Club is designed to help you achieve abundance without struggle. The question isn't, can you do it? The question is, will you do it? Imagine being able to travel for less, have fun, and never have to worry about money again, all because you made a simple choice today. The people succeeding at anything aren't luckier or more talented than you. They just decided to say, I could if I would, and I will. So I leave you with this challenge. What's something that you've been telling yourself I would if I could? Maybe it's financial freedom. Maybe it's a healthier body. Maybe it's building the last business that you ever have to build. Data from 2022 indicates that 40% of the travel agent workforce were 50 to 64 years of age. These figures suggest that many people have sustained long careers in the industry, implying an industry that's stable and will be here longer than any of us. So today, flip the script. Say, I could if I would, and then go do it.
I
Because
could
you're
if I would. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You had to pause. I didn't know you were. Let me shut up. Go on, buddy. Yeah.
Sorry. So today, flip the script. Say, I could if I would, and then go do it. Because your future is waiting, your blessings are waiting, and all it takes is a decision. Now, let me leave you with one more little gem before I turn it back to the professor. And you will want to write this one down. This quote comes from Tom Hopkins, who was the greatest real estate agent of his day. He sold 365 homes in 1 year. That is the equivalent of selling a home every single day. We can only imagine that somebody with that kind of success record would have something valuable to share. Not only that, he wrote 172 books, one of which I read in 1967. And the problem with that story, I just found out today after doing some research on the internet that that book wasn't published until 1981. Frankly, I'm still baffled because I remember this book as clearly as if it happened yesterday. The title of the book was How to Master the Art of Selling. I can
Mm.
still see the cover with Tom's picture on the front, and I've talked about this book many times over the years. Did I read a book in my dreams that wasn't yet printed? Did somebody from a time machine drop this book at my local library back in the 1960s? I don't know. But I want to share a quote with you that may be one of the greatest success formulas of all time. Tom says to write this down and carry it with you at all times and repeat it 3 times a day. And here's the quote: I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. Again, I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. How powerful is that? I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. Now, Richard Koch wrote a book entitled The 80-20 Principle, in which he says 20% of the work we do produces 80% of the results. And if we could identify the 20% and focus on doing that more, we would infinitely be more successful. Doesn't it make sense then that doing the most productive thing possible at every given moment is truly one of the greatest success formulas ever? And what I can tell you, if you will apply that formula to building a long-term business with BDM Travel Club, it won't be long before you're living the life of your dreams. So if I could, I would if I could, I would, and then go do it. Back to you, Professor.
All right. So I got my pad, was taking my notes. I could if I would, and I will. I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. So let's make these next few moments extremely productive by sharing with you BDM Travel Club. We're going to revolutionize, folks, the travel and the leisure industries, um, as it relates to even things there in your local area. Again, depending on what part of the world that you're in, we all know that travel is a huge industry, well more than $1 trillion industry. And if you were to ask most people, hey, if you had more money, what would you do more of? Most people in their top two or three would say travel. Okay, so who are we? We are BDM Travel, game changing business model. We're backed by the parent that's providing all the great travel and discount services, has been in the travel discount services arena for over 25 years. Now, when you get BDM Travel, you'll have a login and you're going to see everything from vacations, hotels, flights, um, up to 70% off. You'll see another tab with hotels, over 1 million hotel properties in that tab. You're going to see cruises. Let's say you want to go on a cruise, you'll be able to get up to 60% off. I saw the other day as was spending a little time in the cruise section. Buy a cruise, um, uh, get your second cruise for like half off. So let's say if it was you were going on a romantic cruise of your spouse or what have you, you pay for a ticket and the other ticket would be 50% off. Local discounts, all right, over 2 million local discounts, movie theaters, take that vacation. You'll actually even be able to give vacations away. You'll be able to go on vacations yourself for little of nothing. Car rentals and discount directory. I'm going to show you. I clicked on the discount directory for when my son and his significant other came down to see me over the weekend, and one of the places we went and got some food was in that directory. Apartments and villas, theme parks, a lot of ways to save money, whether you're traveling afar or whether you are staying in your local area, again, depending on the part of the world that you're in. Now, so let me show you real quickly some of the types of discounts that will be available. Now, years ago, I think it was like 2002, it was my first foray in the marketing arena with a travel company. And one of the things we would say to folks back then is, hey, we can't save you any money on flights. Well, with our travel partner, we can. Now, you're not going to get rich, all right? But mama said, what did she say? You remember? A penny saved is a penny earned. So if you were doing a domestic flight, you might get $5 off, you might get $10 off. If you were doing first class, you might get $25 off. If you were going, let's say you were in the US and you were traveling to Europe, you might get 25 to 35 to $50 off per ticket. Well, what if it was a couple of you traveling, right? Remember, a penny saved is what? A penny earned. Um, I started going through the travel partners back in, and I was like, okay, boy, this year I look to travel a lot more. Uh, and I love Orlando. I lived there for a few years. My sons, when they were still under the roof, um, in their early teenage years, we moved down to Orlando, and it was such a cool experience because we had season tickets to a number of the parks, and it was like every weekend. Um, well, I won't say every weekend, but we could have. One weekend we could have gone to one amusement park. The next weekend could have gone to the beach. Next weekend a different amusement park. So I've got some really warm vibes when it comes to Orlando. So I was thinking, okay, well, let me see if I wanted to hop down to Orlando, maybe even just for a couple nights, what would that look like? Now, in terms of a hotel stay, I love Embassy Suites. So when I'm on the road, when I'm staying in the hotel, I'm going to search out Embassy Suites. Even if it's just me, I like the extra space and also like to have my free breakfast in the morning. Okay, so I went to hotels.com. I wanted to see, does our travel partner really provide deeper discounts to what I could get by going to hotels.com, which is owned by Expedia. Expedia also owns Orbit. All right. Can I get a place to stay at a brand name hotel cheaper? Well, here you see here Embassy Suites by Hilton Orlando, Lake Buena Vista. Okay, Lake Buena Vista South. Now, this is at hotels.com. Again, hotels.com is owned by Expedia. So pay attention. The published rate was $192 for the night. When you include your taxes and fees, it was 218. So really 218 a night. Okay. Now look at when I put in the dates for the travel. This was a couple weeks back. March 21st, that was a Friday, checking out on Saturday, March 22nd. Okay. All right. So now let's do an apples to apples comparison. So you can see here, I'm in Orlando, Florida, Friday, March the 21st to the 22nd, right here up at the top. Embassy Suites by Hilton Orlando Lake Buena Vista South. Okay. And you can see even down here, you see where the location is. So this is an apples to apples comparison. So remember, we're comparing $218 when you include the taxes and fees. All right. Let's go through our travel partner and what do we come up with? 119 published rate, 137 for the night, including taxes and fees. Difference 218 to 137, about an $80 or so, $80 and some change difference. Now, folks, if I stayed for 2 nights, I would have more than covered the annual outlay for BDM travel, which I'll just tell you this right up front. It's only $149 a year, no monthly subscription. Now, I was on Facebook today, and someone that I've done business with for years. I have a tremendous amount of respect for this particular person, and they are promoting a travel opportunity in the marketing space. But there's a down payment, all right, and then there's a monthly subscription. I think that monthly subscription is like $50, might be $200 or $300 down, and then $50 a month. Well, folks, $149 annually. And again, if I just took this 2 night stay, I would more than cover the cost of that of my annual membership. But it's not just travel. It's not just hotels. It's not just car rental. It's all of that and so much more. What if I stayed home? So 10 minutes from me, there is a movie restaurant called Regal. Okay. So I went in, and in the back office, it's got, movies, and it's got other discounts. And I went in and I said, well, let me see what it would cost me, um, if I could save some money going to the movies. Well, the Regal, the one that's 10 minutes from me, when I pulled this up, I was surprised to see they still had The Lion King. I would have thought that would have been out of the theaters. But as of a couple, 3 weeks ago, it was still there. And you can see here, I was looking at doing this on March the 18th at 6:20. So a non-matinee, all right, $15, 49 cents a ticket. $15, 49 cents a ticket for one ticket, okay? However, I could go into BDM travel with our travel partner, all right, and I could get a premium movie ticket for $9.75. That includes a 75-cent fee, okay? Now, the great thing about this is I go on and pay for it. When I go to the movie theater, maybe I don't want to watch The Lion King. Maybe I want to watch something else. It doesn't matter. All right. I'm paying for the ticket. So I got to thinking, well, if I'm going to pay 15.49 for one ticket, well, shoot, I could go and I could date. I could take out my significant other. She recently got her doctorate. I call her Dr. Baby. Well, I don't call her that to her, but out in the public, I'll call her Dr. Baby. Okay. So I could take Dr. Baby out and we wouldn't pay much more for two tickets than we did for one. So 15, almost $16 for one ticket, two tickets, 19.50. So once again, even if you're not ready to go out and travel to Dubai, I just watched a video before we came on. I didn't show it, but it was this couple. They've got they're YouTubers, and the whole YouTube channel is about these exotic vacations that they go on. They went to Saudi Arabia, and off the coast of Saudi Arabia, and just absolutely beautiful. If you've ever seen like the Maldives, or you've seen like Bora Bora with uh, um, bungalows over the water, they've built some futuristic looking bungalows over the water. You might not be ready for that just yet. That's okay. But I promise you, in your local area, depending on what part of the world you're living in, you will likely find so many deals that will cover your cost of membership and then some. Okay. So let's go back to Orlando. So let's say I'm going to Orlando. Now, listen, if I'm going on vacation, I don't want to cook. I'm going to go to a restaurant. So I just went in the travel partners back office. I wanted to, I put in Orlando, and there was a whole lot of restaurants that came up. One that caught my eye was Olay's Kitchen and Barbecue. So let me go on and apologize for my vegetarians, for my vegans, okay? Because I'm going to show a whole bunch of meat here, all right? But Caribbean barbecue, that caught my eye. So then I went to the actual website, all right, of Olay's, all right, to see what the food choices look like. There you can see the ribs and the mac and cheese and the collard greens and the baked beans. And then I went to look at the menu. And so I was thinking, okay, so if Dr. Baby and I were, uh, decided to go down to Orlando, um, what I know what she likes. She loves herself some fish. All right. As a matter of fact, last week she was telling me that she had been wanting some salmon all week. So guess what she did on yesterday? She got her some salmon. Okay, sent me pictures of the salmon that she made at home. So I know she loves fish, and I'm thinking she might want the catfish, or she might want the whiting. Better yet, she might want the combination platter right up here for 28 bucks. Now, I would like to get maybe, let's say, like the barbecue ribs, all right, for 22 bucks. So that's already like 50 bucks, right? Well, I'm going in the back office here and I'm saying, well, with Olay's Kitchen and Barbecue, I can get a $50 off deal for 20 bucks. So I paid $20 in order to save $50. Net, my savings would be $30. Okay. I pay $20 for a $50 off coupon, and I save net $30. Okay. Now that was great in Orlando. So my son, oh, by the way, so you can see that a little bit bigger there. All right. So my son came in over the weekend, and the first night, we stayed in. I was getting to meet his significant other. He already has met Dr. Baby, but Dr. Baby was getting a chance to meet his significant other, and so we stayed in and we decided to get some pizza and wings. Okay, so there is. By the way, that pizza was so good. All right, that was Hawaiian pizza there. There was I think what did they call this? They call this a deluxe there, and we got another pizza, and we got a whole bunch of wings and what have you. And I want you to see what I paid. Okay. All right. So the subtotal was $195. You see where it says discount $50. Why was that? Because this particular pizza place allowed me to get a $50 discount for 20 bucks. So essentially, I netted saving $30. Now, when you do the math on that, $149 annual outlay breaks down to a little less than $13 a month. So with just this one uh, uh, pizza, run that we did, we saved 30 bucks. Almost, not quite, almost 3 months worth of membership. Okay. Again, we don't have a monthly membership, it's an annual membership. So I haven't gone out to the Maldives yet. All right. BDM travel is just coming aboard. I haven't gone to Bora Bora yet. Okay. I haven't gone to some of those locations we just showed right before we got started. But I did get a pizza. Okay, and save net 30 bucks. Now, let's look at some other potential deals. So there is this section that says vacations or take a vacation or get a vacation. And this is a real cool piece of the platform. This allows you to take vacations at some really nice places, whether you're talking Bangkok, Dubai, Vegas, Bali, Puerto Vallarta. I maybe messed that all up. All right, but you get the point. Okay. And you get to stay in these really nice properties. There's no timeshare. Now, I can tell you that I've seen a platform, they charge 99 bucks a month. I don't know if there's a admin fee initially or not, but they charge 99 bucks a month. And with that 99 bucks a month, you get to give away vacation certificates as an incentive. Well, you can do that with this platform. Okay. So whether you are giving an incentive, maybe it's a wedding anniversary, maybe it's a wedding gift, or whatever. Okay. You can give that to people that you love or what have you. Some people may choose to use it as an incentive. Maybe you give that as an incentive for someone to come to one of our live Zooms. Maybe you give it as an incentive. Maybe you're in the marketing space and you promote a nutritional product. Well, maybe somebody orders with you. Maybe you give them a vacation certificate. That's the whole idea. And one platform charges 99 bucks a month for that. Well, you can give away these certificates or you can use them for yourself. So I was curious. I put in my name, I put in my email address. I wanted to see what it was going to look like. Okay. And it says, okay, well, I decided to take a look at Vegas. Hadn't been to Vegas in a few years. I look forward to going back out there. And it says activate now. Actually, it gives you a little video where you can watch to see how to redeem your vacation. So when you activate, what you're doing is you're simply paying the taxes and fees for your stay. That's it. No timeshare presentation. You're simply paying for the taxes and fees, and you got 18 full months to actually book your vacation. So here's what that looked like for a 4 day, 3 night stay in Vegas, $99.72. 3 nights worth of accommodations. My taxes and fees were $99.72. That would be it. So now I'm staying in Vegas for $33.24 a night. Then what could I do? Oh, let me see what restaurants are in Vegas and maybe save some more even there. Then what can I do? I could look for even entertainment deals in Vegas. All right. Save on maybe some show tickets or what have you. And it's just so many categories. Remember, I shared that there was one area that said 2 million local discounts. Then there was a totally different tab that said a million local discounts. So here's a good example on the left hand side, whether you're dealing with automotive, business and office, car rental, uh, condos and resorts, which is different from the condo and resort tab, cruises and tours, which is different from the cruises tab, dining and food, which is different from what I shared with you, where I got a $50 savings for 20 bucks, so I net $30 in savings. Golf, health and beauty, home and garden, movies, services, shopping, so much, ladies and gentlemen. So we know, even if you're not going on your African safari right away, okay, we know if you're driving a vehicle, you're going to need to have the oil change from time to time, right? Well, here, Jiffy Lube, just a couple miles from me, 15% savings. All right. Firestone Complete Auto Care, 10% savings. Goodyear Auto Service, 10. If I needed some tires, just tires, 15%. If I needed, oh my gosh, transmission, 10% savings there. These are everyday savings to go along with the travel savings. All right. So again, vacations, hotels, cruises, local discounts, movie theaters. Take that vacation. That was that certificate I was sharing with you. The Vegas 4 day, 3 night for 99 bucks. Car rentals, discount directory. By the way, where I found the $50 off for $20 for those of you that have BDM travel was right there. Discount directories. And it's going to give you a whole list of other options, including restaurant options. You'll simply put in your local area and you'll see what restaurants are participating in your local area. So here's how it works. Low cost, $149 a year. There is no monthly outlay. There is no additional administration, none of that. Okay. You're going to get access to these travel discounts and other discounts. And you can also begin to build a network of folks that want to travel and save money, stay local and save money, as well as those that want to generate an income. Um, I'm going to ask John. John, let me, for just a moment, did you ever see my message to you? My
Yes, there's a calculator when you log in. It's the older calculator, so we'll have to choose the $100. But yeah, it'll work. I
Okay, okay,
I
okay,
asked to
got you.
yeah, I asked to have the other one put up there, and apparently I thought it had already been done, but it's not.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, all right, I got it. All right, so now let's talk about the business side of things. All right, um, so with $149 annual outlay, you wouldn't think you could make a ton of money, but you would be wrong. Okay. This could be a very high six-figure enterprise, perhaps a gateway to ultimately getting to a seven-figure enterprise. And let me show you a little bit about how that works. All right. So with BDM travel, all right, we've got Roger here. And what Roger did is he referred one person. He referred Sue. Sue really was more aggressive than Roger. She went out and she personally referred 6 folks that got BDM travel. Now I'm going to assume in this case that these 6 folks also want to generate some additional revenue. Okay, so the first person, give me a moment. Give me just a moment. There was something I don't have up on my screen that I normally do, so let me bring that up. It's going to make it easier. There we go. Give me a moment. There we go. Okay. I do apologize for that. All righty. I was looking for my little pen here. Okay. All right. So we see here that Roger refers Sue. Sue went out and she referred 6 people in this example. Now, she can refer, there is no limit to the number of people that you can refer. And I'm going to assume that these 6 people all want to also make some additional money. So the first person that purchases a membership, Sue's going to get the commissioning. All right. That's $80 getting paid out to Sue. The second person that purchases a membership, that commissioning is going to Roger. So this is so important for us to get because you don't have to be some huge recruiting guru or sponsoring magnet. Okay. So Roger got paid because he did refer Sue and she purchased a package, the travel package, but he's also getting paid because this second person of Sue's, that commission goes to Roger. Third person, that commission goes to Sue. Fourth goes to Roger. So, very key. The second and fourth become seeds that go up. But that means you'll be able to reap a bunch of 2 and 4s yourself. Okay. The fifth, the sixth, and beyond all go to Sue. All right. So on the 149, there's an $80 payout there. Okay. Now, real quickly, let's see again how this could impact Roger. Now, remember, Roger's not the big recruiting guru, right? But I do believe that if Roger becomes a product of the product, by him just doing that, he'll be able to have his own testimony. And if he shares that, there's going to be some folks that likely are going to want to find out, well, how did you save $50 on that meal? Net 30. All right. And I posted that, so the people could see that. And guess what? Folks want to know about it, right? Okay, so give me a moment. Remember the second and fourth where Roger got that commissioning? The beautiful part here is that these folks is second and fourth, and their second and fourth to an unlimited depth are going to pay out to Roger. So Roger's not the big recruiting guru, but Roger could make a lot of money, and he only referred Sue. Now, if this looks great for Roger, what about Sue? Because she's got the first here, the third here, the fifth here, the sixth here, that are all paying out to her. Well, guess what? Their second and fourths and their second and fourths all pay out to Sue. So this person's second and fourth pay out to Sue. Their second and fourth pay out to Sue. Their second and fourth pay out to Sue. To an unlimited depth, coming up from an unlimited depth. The same thing as this third or this fifth or this sixth or anyone else beyond that, their second and fours and their second and fours and their second and fours all pay out to Sue. Now, I want to show you just how big this could be. I'm going to go.
Can I
Yes,
make a few comments while we're here at this point?
sure. Mhm.
Okay. So, we've talked many times about people seeing, what they're losing, what they're giving up versus what they're gaining. And that's, it comes from that lack mentality. Okay. So if you ask somebody, well, the typical response here is, well, I don't want to give up 2 people. I don't want to give up my second and fourth. So, let's compare this with a matrix, for example. You have a 2 by 12 matrix. A typical 2 by 12 matrix with an $80 payout, which we have $80 payout, would pay you $28,800. Okay. Our 2 by 12 matrix would pay you $655,200. So by refusing to give up those two people, you're effectively giving up $626,953 in income. And if you do the math on it, instead of giving up two people, you're effectively giving up 7,836 by choosing the wrong compensation plan. We've all heard uh, the phraseology of tripping over dollars to pick up pennies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening if, by saying, well, if I do a matrix plan, I don't lose anybody. Or if I do a unilevel plan, I don't lose anybody. But you do. You lose a whole lot more. And I think the real reason, it goes back to the eternal principle of the law of the harvest. If you're not sowing some seed, you're not getting, you're not getting the benefit of that eternal principle, the law of the harvest. And here you are, when you plant and good seed, then it's going to come back to you multiplied. And and I don't care whether it's a unilevel, I don't care if it's a matrix, I don't care if it's a binary. There's nothing that will give you the leverage of the BDM comp plan. So effectively, if you look at this, number one is giving you a 2 by 2 matrix that, if that grows through 12 levels, will pay you $655,200. Number three is giving you a 2 by 2 matrix, which effectively could pay you through 12 levels $655,200. And why would you stop at 1 and 3? Why wouldn't you go and get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, who are also going to give you a 2 by 2 matrix? And that kind of money coming off of each one of them, there's nothing out there that can even hold a candle to what what we have here. So why continue to do things the wrong way? And I think the reason we do is because we really don't have understanding. You know, the Bible says you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. Well, this is a truth that's never been explained. I'm actually going to create a video talking about compensation plans, and I'm going to show, how all of this works, make the comparisons, because, it's time for people to understand, you know, what they're building, what they're putting their effort to. And I think by understanding that, we're going to have a lot of people joining us once they see the possibilities here.
All right, folks. There's that. Thanks, John, for sharing that. There's a calculator that I want to show you, and John was just telling me it's in a different location. So bear with me. Let me go and grab that because this is going to really show you just how powerful this model is. Bear with me.
We did have that on our landing page, but actually we were advised to take that down because of our credit card processor. Credit card processors
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah. Yeah,
information out there.
yeah.
It looks too scammy, if you will, and they want to be totally above board. So we've decided to put this in our member site.
Got it. Okay.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the new one put up yet, but this one will work the same.
All right. So give us a moment and we'll show it to you. All right. So, folks, when you go into the BDM Travel Club, and if you come in under income calculator, all right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click where it says 100. I mentioned at the onset that John is the lead developer of BDM Travel and our mother company, Our Billion Dollar Mission. Our Billion Dollar Mission, I really see BDM Travel as a gateway to our billion dollar mission, meaning there's a lot more potential revenues than just BDM Travel. Okay. Um, I'm going to use the $100 option here because the $100 option um, in our billion dollar mission pays out $80. The 149 travel pays out $80. Obviously, there's hard costs associated with BDM travel. Okay. So we're going to look at where it says 100, but know that it's paying out the same $80. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, I'm going to personally refer four folks, four people that uh, aren't just looking to travel, but they want to make some money. And I'm going to assume that my four folks refer four folks that refer four, so on and so forth. And if we took that, you can take that to an unlimited depth. All right. It could be 10 levels, it could be 50, it could be 100. There is no limit to the depth payout with those two and fours. Okay. So I'm just going to say that everyone does four. All right. And I'm going to calculate and look at what we're talking about here, folks. We're talking about the potential, the maybe, the perhaps, all of my disclaimers of very high six figures for what? For outlaying $149, being a product of the product, so that I should save so much more, even if I never took a trip, but I just went into my back office when I was going to go get an oil change, or anytime I was thinking about going to a restaurant, or I saw something that I haven't done a deep dive about pharmaceutical. If you are, on prescription drugs, that could be savings there also. Okay, and simply sharing this messaging, inviting someone to a Zoom or to watch a recorded version of a Zoom so that they can say, oh, I can save some money too. I can travel. All right. Now, what do you think is going to happen once you start taking some of these travel excursions and you're doing videos or you're posting some pictures and what have you? Okay. Now, what if I did this? What if I referred five and all them referred four? Now, remember, we're at 655. Look at this instead. Look at that instead. What if I referred 10, but everybody else referred four? Look at that.
And it doubles every level going down. So if we went down 13 levels, we're looking at $5 million.
And remember, it's annual renewable. So this isn't just a one-time payout. And this is why we want this to be the culture that we're actually being products of the product, because I'm going to maintain my 149 BDM travel membership. Why? Because I know I'm going to save more. I've already saved $30 on one meal. $30 on one meal. Right? Now, I mentioned that BDM travel is a gateway for OBDM, our billion dollar mission. Now, in our billion dollar mission, we've got other levels. We've got a $10 level, got a $20 level, a $50 level. Let's say you've done the BDM travel. All right. So that's taking care of that. And let's say in time you even do the $250 level. All right. And that goes up all the way up to 20,000. If I did the same, I'm not going to show 10. That's going to be way too much. But if I did the same four, beginning four, and hit calculate, remember I said BDM travel is a gateway into our $1 billion mission. Hey, John, I don't think that's showing completely yet. You see that? It only showed me the 100. Is that what you meant?
Hit your calculate button again.
No. So that part's not showing.
Oh, okay. Apparently, apparently he deactivated that. It's only for the travel.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So we'll get that little bug taken care of by our next meeting, so you can see. Well, shoot, let me get started with BDM travel, certainly, but let me not discount our $1 billion mission. You'll find out more about our $1 billion mission. We really wanted to lead in tonight with BDM travel. So what do here, folks? All right, you're going to get back with the person who invited you. Why do you want to join? Low startup cost. You're likely going to save a lot more money than what your annual outlay is. Massive demand for travel deals. Work from anywhere. Be your own boss. Get paid to help others travel for less and save money in their local areas. There's no cap on your earnings. So, with that being said, get back to the person who invited you this coming Thursday night. We're going to do this at the same web Zoom link. So you'll be able to invite some folks out so that they can hear what you're hearing and what you're seeing. And with that being said, I'm going to give it to you, John, for you to close things out.
Okay, well, you know, if we just invite new people every time we come, that's how this is going to grow. Uh, and share your links. You have your bdmtravelclub.com. You can also log in to go back to our original site, ourbilliondollarmission.com. You can log in there. You can look at the uh, unilevel, and you'll see that we've done some rebranding in there. So we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and I tell you what, folks, this is just going to be huge. Anyway, thank you for joining with us tonight, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Good night, everyone.